All right, let's jump right in. What we're looking at here is a full-blown code war unfolding on Wall Street. It's cutting-edge AI taking on a 60-year-old titan of technology. And believe me, this isn't just about code. We're talking about the very foundation of the global economy. So picture this, February 23rd, 2026. IBM, the giant they call Big Blue, just sees its stock price completely tank. And I mean, this wasn't just a bad day. It was their worst single-day drop in over 25 years, a total bloodbath for one of the original kings of tech. And just to give you a sense of what that drop really means, we're talking over $31 billion in market value. Just poof, gone, in a few hours. It's a staggering amount of money, right? Disappearing in the blink of an eye. You can bet investors were spooked. They were heading for the doors fast. So this begs the big question, right? What on earth could cause a panic that big, that fast? And get this, it wasn't a terrible earnings report. It wasn't some huge scandal. The catalyst was a blog post from a small AI startup. So let's really dig in and figure out how one piece of software could shake a fortress like IBM to its core. Okay, so to get why everyone panicked, you really have to understand the fortress they were attacking. See, IBM's power isn't just about its famous name. No, it's built on something much older, something that's been quietly running the world for more than 60 years. And that foundation has a name, COBOL. Yeah, COBOL. It stands for Common Business-Oriented Language. We're talking 1959. To any developer today, that sounds like ancient history, right? A total relic. But here's the crazy part. That relic is the invisible engine that makes our entire modern world go round. And when I say makes the world go round, the scale is just mind-blowing. We're talking an estimated 220 billion lines of this code still running. Right now, this stuff isn't sitting in a museum, folks. It's the live wiring, processing your transactions, and keeping the lights on, so to speak. And look at where this wiring goes. It's not in the small stuff. It's running the absolute core of everything. The Federal Reserve, the IRS, the airline systems that book your flights, the banks that hold your money. Seriously, every single time you hit up an ATM or swipe your credit card, chances are overwhelmingly high that you're talking to a COBOL system. In fact, think about this. An estimated 80% of your financial transactions touch a COBOL system. That's the key to IBM's power. It's their ultimate lock-in. For decades, nobody dared to move away from it because it was just too complicated, too risky. It was literally the deepest, widest moat in the entire tech industry. But you know how the story goes, right? Every Goliath eventually meets its David. And in our story, David is an AI startup called Anthropic. And they didn't just show up to the party. They came with a digital slingshot aimed directly at the heart of that IBM fortress. What they did was release a tool. It's called Claude Code. And its purpose was so specific, it was almost surgical. It was built to do one thing, automate the nightmare of modernizing old COBOL code. Or, to put it another way, it was designed to hand IBM's biggest customers a key to unlock their very expensive golden handcuffs. So how does this thing actually work? Well, think about the old way. If you wanted to get off COBOL, you had to hire armies of super expensive consultants who would spend years just trying to figure out what the old code even did. Claude Code just automates all of that. It dives into that maze of old code, analyzes it, and spits out a clear roadmap to get you onto a modern cloud platform. See, it's not just a translator, it's a full-on escape plan. And that, right there, sets up the ultimate showdown. This isn't just IBM versus Anthropic. It's bigger than that. It's a clash of titans, a battle between two totally different ways of thinking about how technology should even work. In one corner, you've got IBM and their certainty mode. Their whole pitch for 60 years has been, we give you 100% uptime. We are rock-solid reliable. We are quantum safe. And in the other corner, you've got Anthropic's AI Surge, which is all about speed, agility, and the freedom of the cloud. It's the old guard versus the new kid on the block. And this is the absolute key to understanding the whole thing. The real threat here isn't just that an AI can turn old COBOL into new Java. Who cares, right? No, the real threat is that the AI solves the complexity problem. That deep, scary moat that IBM built, the one that was all about how hard it is to leave, well, that's the exact problem that this new AI promises to just make disappear. Now, this fight isn't just some tech nerd drama happening in a vacuum. It has real-world consequences. So what does all this actually mean for you? Well, the shockwaves are already hitting, and they're going to affect everything from your investment portfolio to how entire industries operate, even how the government runs. What we're seeing is something that Wall Street analysts are starting to call the AI scare trade. It's a new phenomenon. Investors aren't just trying to pick the next big AI winner anymore. Now they're actively dumping stocks of old-school, legacy companies, any company they think is a sitting duck for this AI disruption. And you can see the battle lines being drawn pretty clearly. You've got your winners and your losers. On the tech side, it's the startups like Anthropic and the big cloud guys. Think AWS, Azure, that are set to win big. Meanwhile, IBM and the old integrators, they're clearly at risk. And this hits people, too. AI architects, their stock is rising. But the old-school COBOL programmers, the future looks a little shaky. Even the buildings are changing as we move from private data centers to massive cloud farms. It's a huge realignment of the entire landscape. And if you look at specific industries, the risk isn't the same everywhere. Take airlines, they're always looking to cut costs, so the chance they'll jump on this is really high. Now, banking and government, they'd love to modernize, but you've got all these regulations and security hoops to jump through, so they'll probably move a bit slower, at least for now. And really, this whole situation boils down to a new belief on Wall Street. The market is basically betting on a future where AI-generated code, some people are calling it vibe coding, where you just tell the AI what you want instead of writing every line, creates apps that are good enough. Good enough to let companies skip paying for IBM's super expensive, super perfect systems. It's a world where being fast and flexible might finally be more valuable than being slow and perfect. Which really leaves us with one final, pretty big question, doesn't it? For 60 years, IBM built what everyone thought was an impenetrable fortress. And then one little AI tool came along and basically handed everyone the key. It really makes you stop and think. In this new age of AI, where things are moving so incredibly fast, is any fortress, no matter how old or how strong, truly safe anymore?